So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my photos. Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and welcome back to Feeling Fair. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I edit my photos. I always get these questions on Instagram about how I edit my photos. A disclaimer though, there are really many ways you can edit your photos and a lot of people use different ways, so this is just how I do it. Okay, the first thing obviously we'll talk about the apps that I use. I usually use Lightroom. It's not free, I actually do pay a monthly fee for this one. I might not be describing or explaining or using the right terms for whatever I'm doing. This is just how I do it and this is how I would explain in layman terms, in terms that even I understand. Scroll all the way down and you will see this optics here. Usually if you're using iPhone, this one doesn't really work, but let's say if you're using a camera like DSLR and you're buying lenses, different kinds of lenses, usually they actually have a certain kind of distortion or vignetting to the photo. So what Lightroom does is when you enable the lens correction, this distortion and vignetting will be edited away. So I am gonna start editing this photo. So the first thing that I do is usually to adjust the point curve. So this is where my cursor is at now, and what I do is to go down slightly just to make the colors a bit deeper, and then I will bring up the middle up here so that you make the whites brighter, and then we are going to use the last point and bring it up a bit. So this one actually gives like this more like softer faded feel to your photo. And then we're going to our basic adjustment. So first thing would be exposure. I usually would just adjust a little bit will do, and then because you see the bottom of the picture, you can see that it's a little bit dark here, so what I'll do is to adjust the shadows and bring it up. Now the sky is a bit too bright for my liking, so what I'll do is to bring down the highlights here, and the whites maybe just adjust a bit or not at all. Okay, I think I'll just leave it. And then we will go down to temperature. So you can either choose to color pick it, use this picker tool to pick your color balance. Like usually you will use white color to kind of pick your color balance, so it becomes a little too orangey or yellow, so what I'll do is to adjust it according to what I want. Okay, and here is actually the fun part. So what I like to do is to go to this color mixer tool. This is the tool that is the most useful. So for example, I feel like my blue, I don't really like the shade of blue that I want. I can always adjust the shade and change the color of my dress. So of course, like if you're talking about super high level editing of colors and all, Lightroom might not be for you. If you want to change the colors by a lot, then you have to use Photoshop. But what Lightroom actually gives you is the possibility of changing like from blue to purple, or like even, I don't know, green, like this aqua green shade. Okay, so you can change the dress color from blue to purple, for example, but I think I'm just gonna leave it as blue. And you can even adjust the saturation of the colors and the luminance. So luminance will actually make your color look brighter. You can choose to just play with and toggle with the rest of the color. And split toning. So split toning is something that is very interesting. It's actually the first step to making a filter because it actually makes your whole picture look like it has a certain feel to it. So usually I will adjust the shadow and highlights to whatever hue I want, and the saturation about 5 to 10. And we also have the geometry adjustments, so you can actually make sure that, let's say you feel like your picture is not aligned, you can actually adjust, constrain the crop so that the picture will still continue being full, and then you can just adjust it however you want. So the next most interesting and useful tool that I'm going to introduce is your selective editing. That's the brush here. Brush is basically you just brush whatever areas you want to edit. For example, if I want to edit my face, so what I'm going to do is to zoom in a little bit and I can just brush on, and I can adjust according to how I want it to be. For example, I want it to be brighter. And the next thing we're going to go for is the linear gradient. So I actually use linear gradient the most. I feel like the bottom of the photo is a bit too dark. I'm just going to drag it out like that and Okay, and then I'm going to increase the exposure or even just the shadows. In this case, maybe it's a little too dark. So what I will do is to create a circle around, and I can just adjust it to however I want it to be, the size in terms of size and shape. So you will see that with this red marking, right, you can see the middle is the darkest red. That's where it's the most saturated in terms of, like, let's say brightness, most saturated in terms of the edit, and then it will diffuse out so that everything looks very natural. One of the main perks of editing on Lightroom is that you can actually copy and paste your filters or edits however you want, so you don't have to always restart your edits from the beginning. So what I'll do is, for example, I really like the edit of this photo, I will just copy, so Command C, and then I will paste it onto another photo, Command V. And then what I will do is very easy, you just have to adjust however you like it in terms of color, minor edits, so you don't have to restart everything. Okay guys, so that is usually how I edit my photos. There is actually no specific step to how I do it. You can just play around with the app and find a few or a certain filter or color that you actually really love. I hope you're feeling fab, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and follow AsiaOne for more interesting content. I will see you guys in my next video. Ciao!